That's right.
Happy Friday once again, guys. Hello. This is Prim and Proper Sports Friday with the Fellaz. I'm your host, Sonja, and we got a whole lot of fellas tonight, guys. So, as always, B. Strilla, the great production behind the scenes, and my co-host here, and he has his own show, the 1A Cheek 3 Toes. Good evening to you, B. Strilla. Hope you're doing well.
I am.
What up, dope?
What up, dope?
Lions. Of course, the one and only New Orleans Saint extraordinaire, Mr. James J. Train Martin, my brother there from the NFC South. Good evening, J. Train. How are you?
I'm doing well. I hope you all doing great too.
Doing great. And let me reintroduce to some and introduce literally probably for the most part to others. My brother Kevin there. Wow, Kevin, it has been probably at least 6 months, maybe a little more. He is from right here in Atlanta, the Atlanta Falcons. He is Mr. Dirty Bird Stepper. Kevin, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How you doing?
I am doing well.
I know you're doing well.
I really am. Let me give Pink Fanfare a shout out for her real production today. Always the extraordinary beauty that she is. She got it done, got the promos out. And good evening to everyone coming on. Feel free to drop your comments, likes, loves, and shares. And cheers. Let me start this off to my Panthers. All right, I'm drinking my coffee tonight, but in rare fashion, and we'll get to that in a moment. I like to be courteous to the other platform members. And so with that being said, I'll reserve those comments because Kevin and I have a plethora of words to say on the live tonight. So let's just start. We got a lot of NFL and college sports going on. This is going on week 4. I mean, this season is just spiraling away. Of course, the recap comes from a lot of nail biters on Sunday, with the exception of one game. But there was a lot of close games. I mean, a lot of games came down to special teams. We saw a lot of block kicks. I mean, just extraordinary games that we saw. And we'll talk about those here. Buffalo Bills defeat the Dolphins. That really wasn't too close of a game, but it was a game nonetheless. The Dolphins looked like they were really trying to be comparative as far as the talent there. 31-21 on Thursday night. The Bills now winning the AFC East rivalry right now, giving the Dolphins their 3rd straight loss. The Fins are 0-3, guys. They are drowning. Thoughts on that game?
Not really any.
Not really.
Miami.
What we expected.
The Dolphins are the Titanic right now, hitting the iceberg.
Mm-hmm. Miami actually played better than what I thought they were going to play. I mean, I thought it was going to be much more of a blowout than what it was.
You don't get points for moral victories, though.
Yeah, but you know what, Kevin? We're going to come back to that. Make sure that comment stays very relevant because you said they played better than you thought they would.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at it outside, if they didn't commit that penalty off that block, they would have had the ball with the game tied. I mean, they could have went down there and scored and took the lead.
That's true.
I mean,
that game became kind of a yawn fest, and then it tried to regroup. But nonetheless, 0-3 is nothing to sneeze at now that we're in week 4. Cleveland Browns in a shocker. This is one of the first shockers. The Browns over the Packers 13-10 in a field goal decider there. The defense, the Browns defense, go figure, was who secured this stunning upset victory. I mean, I know so many people probably were upset on their fantasy that week because I'm sure everybody picked Green Bay, go figure. And the Packers were held to only 10 points. That's big for the Packers. And they won that late field goal. Now, I know y'all got some comments on that game.
The Packers are who we thought they were.
Really?
Oh man, that blue hat says I feel the blue in that blue cap that's right there. That line's roaring underneath there somewhere.
The hate came through, right?
I think the Packers. I think the Packers just met up with a really good defense, and so and playing in Cleveland too at the same time. I just think that was an anomaly, and they had an opportunity to win. The kid got blocked at the end. And so they could have won that game, but it was a really tough game. That defense was really formidable, and they showed teams out there to look forward to. Hey, the Cleveland Browns are not anything to play with. They may not be the best offensively, but defensively, they'll keep themselves in tight games.
Did you watch that game, Kevin?
I did, yeah. That Browns defense is something serious, man. Myles Garrett was coming off that edge crazy. I mean, but at the end, they just blew it in the end. I mean, gave up an easy touchdown, field goal to win the game. So I mean, kudos to the Browns. I mean, they finally got their first win. You know, like other teams, they finally got their first win.
Okay, you can say, hold on, bro. What you not gonna do, Kevin? What you're not gonna do on this show? See, I'm trying to be courteous, because in the end, it makes the teams that got beat, who were supposedly teetering, and let's be clear, that may have been that team's first win, but now they're also number 2 in the division because they beat the team who thought they were gonna go 2-2. Okay, now let's come back to that in a moment. Back to the next topic. Yeah, it is. It is. In case you all are wondering, and well, you know what? No one's wondering. Let me just go ahead and put a little preview out there, and we'll come back to it. Everybody in the world is talking about the Falcons and Panthers game. I've seen it on so many unaffiliated channels about the blowout and I'm talking about I was even shocked. I bet on my own team all the time. I felt like we would win, but I thought it would be close. But the way we literally obliterated, I'm surprised that backdrop you have is still standing. Luckily, we weren't there, or it would have been obliterated. It would have been like the Georgia Dome Part 2, which they imploded a few years ago to build Mercedes-Benz. But we'll come back to that, Kevin. Be a gent, okay? Let's let B and J get to their games, and we'll definitely have our time. Don't you worry. We're gonna have plenty of time. All right, so Kevin can barely contain himself, and I can't either. I actually asked Kevin to come on Wednesday, y'all. Let me be transparent. I've been in testing this week, but as you guys know, I pre-record my show. I asked Kevin, and everybody on this platform can attest to that because I put it in the chat. Kevin, are you available to do a show for me for just 30 minutes? Let's make it all Falcons and Panthers. Crickets, not even a response. He didn't even say, yeah. Everybody saw it though. But
no, I was probably busy. I had because I'd rather be working nights, so I'd be
busy pulling out Kleenexes. All right, let's move on to the next game. Tampa Bay almost got beat by the Jets, guys, and that was a shocker for me because the Bucks with Baker Mayfield are playing lights out again. They're 3-0, but they barely eked by the Jets of all people, 29-27. A close contest that saw the Buccaneers barely hold off, considering the Jets are 0-3 now. You guys have to have some commentary on that because I was shocked about that.
I mean, AG got them boys playing. So, the only game they weren't really in was the Buffalo game. But Buffalo is Buffalo. But and Tampa Bay had a lot of people hurt on their squad. And in fact, I think Evans went out in that game, and they didn't have 3 of their 5 offensive starters on the O-line. So, and that helped a lot. Defense is what the Jets do. and they were coming through that line like I thought they were going to do. And they came back. You know, Tampa Bay had a little lead in the beginning, but the Jets, you know, came back, made it a game. Aaron Glenn went down the sidelines on that block kick return for a touchdown, and he went on down the sidelines and did the Earth, Wind, and Fire, September dance. But and it was short lived because Baker Mayfield got on there and he led the team down there and won the game. So Baker is like playing at the top of his game right now.
What are your thoughts, Kevin? I mean, that you and J Train, that's our competition for the NFC South for like the 5th or 6th season now. They have continued to reign at the top of the division.
I'll let you go, Jay.
I picked them to be the winner of the division again. And I know we were on B's show with the NFC South with that brood of not just Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan.
Yeah.
But with that said, I still give them the props and think they were going to win. I tried to give Atlanta a little bit of love in that regard and thought they had an opportunity here, but it does not look like that. I just think Tampa Bay, even with losing, not having Godwin, not having Micah Evans, they still look like they can. I mean, they got a 3-headed monster and running backs. They can run the ball, and they're missing some of their offensive line, and they still playing. They're finding ways to win. That's the signs of a team that might, like Jack Hirsch said, might be a championship contender, contending team, and they're looking like they're doing so. So we'll see.
I mean, Kevin, yeah, Jay Train, that's a good point. Anytime you can overcome injuries, and it's like you already have your backup plan, because let's be clear, y'all, injuries are going to happen whether it's week 1 or week 12. It's just what it is. And if you're dependent on that 1 or 2 person man team and those people go down, your season can be over just like that. But it's about teams that have the conditioning to line other players up. I've seen it very, very big in Detroit because you guys battled some injuries, but y'all rose all the way to the NFC Championship last year. I mean, we'll talk about that here shortly. But Kevin, what are your thoughts about about the Bucks? Do you fear the Bucks? Not necessarily fear, but you have a respect for them that they pretty much are going to dominate the South again.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like they are. I mean, they win it. One thing I'll say is they're winning a lot of close games. When you get down into the postseason and stuff like that, everybody is going to be, every team is going to be pretty much, good. You're going to be playing good teams. You're going to be playing the Lions. You're going to be playing the Eagles. You're going to be playing the Packers. You're going to be playing teams like those. So you got to win those close. When you win in those close games like that, you basically, battle tested. So I got to give credit to the Buccaneers. They look real good. They beat the Falcons. They beat the Jets. And who was the previous team they beat? Who did they beat week 2?
Child, they beating everybody. I don't know.
Yeah, I forget who they beat week 2.
Let's see. Houston.
Yeah,
by a point.
Yeah, matter of fact, they beat Houston. Yeah, I remember.
But that's the thing. Houston has not been looking that good, y'all. I don't know. Every year has their year that they kind of go down this downward trend. But Baker is dangerous. What's up, Yenzer? Baker is absolutely dangerous. And so, what are your thoughts, Strilla?
I mean, they're playing close game. It's basically Houston's not the greatest offense right now. Their offensive line's in shambles. So, and it was even amazing that they won that game, considering the fact that Houston was taking it to them for a minute, and Tampa Bay came back and won that game. Like I said, Baker, when Baker's leading these drives, he's a comeback kid right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think all 3 games he's actually had to lead comeback drives, take leads, or get or stave off comeback from the other team. So I mean, he's doing his job. And just think, this week when they play Philadelphia, they're going to have Godwin back and they're going to have Tristan Wirth back. So we'll see.
Yeah. I'm gonna be clear. I understand when they're playing close games if they're a good team. But that's right, Pink Fanfare. What's going on, boo? We gave you a shout out early. Happy Victory Friday. We celebrating all week. All week. Yeah, so I froze there. When her comment came up, I froze. That's what we do.
Yeah.
just freeze because we freeze in the dub. Anyway, this for me, when it's close games like that and you're a good team, I get concerned. It's a difference in being an underdog and you keep winning close games as opposed to you are one of these teams that everybody pretty much knows you're good and your games against opponents that are not that competitive are close. That's when you should be concerned because that lets you know you can be upset at any given time. I know that from all of us have had games where our teams beat an opponent by a close game. And at the time, say our team wasn't as good as we thought they were. And we were excited that they won that game. Or we see several games that they come close to beating really good opponents. And we're like, okay, there's some drive in them. But if your team is B's Lions right now, who are coming off going to the NFC Championship last year, and they come in and they start barely winning games like to the Dolphins and people like that, you're going to be like, wait a minute, your radar is going to go off because unless that team is battling a lot of injuries, that's not the team we recognize. And so you have to look at things like that. But kudos to them for getting it done. I'm going to be honest. Once I saw that game was close, I was rooting against Tampa Bay because I wanted Carolina to be the only winning team in the division for that day. Once I saw that, unfortunately, J-Train, your Saints had lost, I was rooting for them. But once they lost and once we won, I wanted us to be the sole winners. And so we were not, but it's okay. We're going to come back to the Panthers game. That's actually the next game that they discuss, and they give so much narrative to that. I mean, it's just so amazing. The Jacksonville Jaguars played an AFC South matchup against the Texans. We were just talking about them. They came very close, but they are now 0-3, 17-10. Jaguars secured a divisional road win in a defensive battle. These defenses really stood up this weekend. I'm not going to go into details on that unless you guys had something you wanted to add. It was kind of a yawn fest for me. What's up, Richard? Hi, Richard. How are you? Thanks for joining me, joining us. Who the Panthers play this week? Oh, Patriots, sweetie. Patriots, okay? Shout out to Keith Angle. All right, the next big game. Now, this game was big because I really did not think Minnesota was going to pull this out with J.J. McCarthy being injured. 48-10, but let's be clear, Joe Burrow is out. So 48-10, and you know, J-Train, B. Striller, we talked about this during the offseason, how much Cincinnati put into their offense and very little into their defense. And this game showed it. Kevin, I mean, the Vikings defense was spectacular. 2 defensive touchdowns, one by cornerback Isaiah Rodgers, and they blew out the Bengals team without even their starting quarterback.
Well, what can I say? You know, after you lose to the Falcons, you know, you usually come in with a chip on your shoulder. You know what I mean? So what can I say?
Okay. Oh yeah, Pink. We turned. Yes, Pink. I'm so glad Pink are here tonight. Pink, we're gonna go into that in depth shortly. I'm trying to be. I don't want to say a gentleman because I'm a lady. I'm trying to be a lady and allow some time to give the platform. But you hold all those comments. They are very relevant. And Pink was at that game. We should have just gave her the link, let her come on here and just clown. But anyway, all right. So that game, like you said, a big blowout. J-Train, B. Strills, you guys have anything about that? Especially you, B. That's the NFC North. The North.
I'm not worried about it. Okay. Cincinnati is garbage right now. They got no offensive line. They got no defensive line. I mean, the defensive line is not playing well. They're just garbage right now. They're hot garbage. And like I said, Hendrickson's doing his thing. He's getting his couple of sacks a game, just like I thought he was. He's going to put the
he got paid.
Up, but he's not making a difference in that defense. So they're hot garbage. So Minnesota got 2 touchdowns by Isaiah Rodgers. Let's give him props. He's the only defensive player to do that in a single game. The dude had a PFF gave him a 99.9.
Ooh.
First time they've ever given a player that high of a score.
Yeah, that's
first
what
time.
I was. Ooh.
That
you got the applause. You got the applause ready, BA?
Over the place.
You got the applause button ready? Congratulations, Isaiah Rodgers.
I can do that.
For the most part, B, I have to agree with you that Cincinnati is definitely hot garbage right now, especially without having their top quarterback, and Browning is no answer. But what I will say on the flip side, Minnesota having another quarterback coming in that was a former first round draft pick and sitting under a quarterback whisperer who had another first round draft pick prior to him in Sam Darnold and had high success. So I would be surprised if the same thing might not happen with Carson Wentz. So with under Kevin O'Connell. So just don't be surprised if Minnesota starts throwing up some points there. And they got their second wide receiver back too in Jordan Addison.
I didn't
So
say I wasn't going to be surprised. I'm not surprised what anybody does in our division because all of our teams in this division are good teams. So I'm not going to be surprised. I just said I'm not worried about it. That's all I said. But anyway, let's give Isaiah Rodgers his kudos.
They don't play y'all soon.
Balling though. I watched some of that game. He was balling. He was all over the place. Those 2 touchdowns weren't even and all of it. I mean, he was all over the field making plays. So
meanwhile, everybody's trying to find him to see if he's available on fantasy to draft him real quick. Can't find him.
What bug crawled up in his britches because he was balling. That's the best I've seen a defensive player play in a while.
Yeah. So all right, we'll move on over to the next game. Let's talk about the Patriots and Steelers game. I don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, y'all. I mean, he was playing dynamic in the beginning. Oh, yes, are we just literally talking about them next? Right in time for your comment. 21-14, like they almost lost to the Patriots. Like, what in the world? Steelers were on the road and barely got over the Patriots. I don't know if it was home advantage for the Patriots or what. I mean, that game, I don't put a lot of stock in the Patriots. And for them to come that close to supposedly Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers in general, I don't know, y'all. I really just don't know. What are y'all's thoughts on that?
I don't put a lot of stock into
great defense. They have okay defense. But the fact that you turned the ball over 5 times and you only were able to manage 21 points out of that, that's more of a tribute to how bad your team is being Pittsburgh. Okay, because you should be taking advantage of that stuff. So, and Rodgers,
I don't put a lot of stock
let's get some kudos to Aaron Rodgers. He throws his 509th career touchdown pass. He surpassed Brett Favre, who he was under for a minute, 4th most in NFL history. So we'll give him his little kudos.
I hope y'all saw my face the whole time.
Patriots really don't really have that bad of a defense, though. I mean,
I don't put a lot of stock into Pittsburgh right now. I just think that it's a bit of a facade. They're beating teams that are not that good, and Aaron Rodgers is still 40-something. He's doing well. He's still a 40-something-year-old quarterback, and I just think the wheels are going to come off at some point once they start meeting up with really good teams, or at the meat of that AFC North. When they see a team like Baltimore or the East, they see Buffalo if they have to play them this year, or if they meet them in the playoffs, that kind of thing. I just don't. There's not enough offensively to sustain any type of good offense. Like you said, 21 points off 5 turnovers.
That's ridiculous. Kevin, do you think Aaron Rodgers stays as a quarterback after this year? He only has a 1-year contract.
I don't know. I think it might be over for him after this year. I mean, really, they don't have a number 2 receiver. I mean, DK is really just a one-trick pony, really.
Oh, so, yeah, that's true.
So it's like, they really don't. Their offense is really. It's just this is not a sexy offense, and then you got former Falcon head coach Arthur Smith. They're not running the football the way the Steelers run the football. The defense is not the defense is not the same Steeler defense that we're accustomed to seeing. Like they're not physical at all. Like teams is going there and they're like, yo, we finna put up points today. Like, so they're gonna have trouble with Minnesota this week, I feel like.
I so believe that. We'll get into those game previews in a moment here. Let's just skip to this because this could be a little lengthy. We're going to just run through a couple of scores, then we're going to talk about B and J Train's matchups this week. San Francisco 49ers in a close game, another special teams game, Kudos to Eddie Pinheiro, former kicker of the Carolina Panthers, who signed with the 49ers just last week and secured that game-winning kick for them over the Cardinals. 49ers narrowly escaped with a very low-scoring divisional contest. That was a yawn fest game, I'm going to be honest. But they are battling injuries. It's just a lot of stuff going on in the 49ers camp. Let's be clear, they got rid of some folks during the offseason, or should I say trade? I don't like to say get rid of. But that game came down to special teams. Eddie P being received very well by his teammates, picked him up, gave him a hug, everything. So kudos to Carolina West. He's out there joining Christian McCaffrey. So another Panther going to the West. And Kyler Murray just looking just not good at all. Cowboys and Bears in a shocker come back and beat the Cowboys. I just don't know. I guess Tip is right. Shout out to Tip. He joins us a lot on Friday, the Tipping Point, Mike Tipton. He's a Cowboys fan. He said it's the team he loves, he hates, he loves, basically. But that team, you think they're playing lights out, and then the next week, something like this. You can't call it. Bears secured a very impressive victory at home. Of course, Soldier Field was lit, y'all, defeating, of all people, the Cowboys. And even though they are not in the same division, those two teams have always been rivals, like for as long as I can remember. Right, J Train? Like my dad, I remember my dad and my uncle, like Bears, Cowboys type stuff. I think you're muted.
Great defenses. You're looking at teams that used to have really good defenses, and that time is no longer. And so, about as much as that rivalry is gone, that this game was just about as lackluster as that. I mean, Chicago looked good, but Dallas' defense is atrocious, man. They are really bad.
And this week, we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Michael Parsons coming back this week. And CeeDee Lamb is out. They're going to get eviscerated by Green Bay because this is going to be a revenge game. But like I said, we'll talk about that in a minute. New York Giants bench Russell Wilson after only 3 games. Mr. Dart is now the quarterback for New York, 22-9, giving Kansas City their first win. Believe it or not, Kansas City's first win. The Chiefs, the Chefs, whatever you want to call them. The first win of the season, and they get it against the New York Giants, 22-9 in a primetime stage where everybody was watching. And this is the Giants' third loss. They are 0-3. Commanders, 41-24 without Jaden Daniels. Welcome back, Marcus Mariota. Marcus and Dan will be in Atlanta. Yes, another homecoming this Sunday. Commanders versus Falcons, where the Falcons will be facing their second consecutive loss. It is coming. We'll talk about that in a moment. Congratulations, Commanders. The Commanders used to be my favorite team before we had the Panthers when I was a kid, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's get to the Lions game. Lions roar on. What an impressive game, B. Get your applause button ready. Applaud your own team. Get them ready. Matter of fact, we're ready for the applause because you can do that for another game in a minute. You know what's going on. 28-30. Monday night debut. Lions just glistening. They defeated Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. I mean, Derrick looked shook for a moment. I saw him. He looked like off kilter. Them Lions were crawling and mauling, and they were on the road. They came in their trap and took over their trap. Congratulations to the Detroit Lions getting it done against the Baltimore Ravens. B, your thoughts on the game as we go around?
Yeah, I'm not worried about the Ravens defense is bad too. So I wasn't worried about the offense output. But the defense, the Ravens still got offense. They put 40 points on Buffalo. They put 41 on Cleveland. And they put 30 up in this game. So, I mean, they still got the offense. I just really liked what Shepard did with the defense. Mm-hmm. He had all them guys disciplined. And you don't get 7 sacks on Lamar Jackson because you're getting lucky. they shut down a lot of that stuff that they run. And Lamar even said that they had a spy on him and they wasn't allowing him to do anything. So he said they just played a great game. You have to play a perfect game like that on defense to beat Baltimore. You do. So they kudos to Shepard and talk about and here we go again, and shutting people up about our offense and defensive coordinators. Shut it up. Shut it up. We're gonna be fine.
Shut it on down. Shut it on down. All right. So like I said, congratulations to you. Y'all are funny, Derrick Henry. Congratulations to you, B, in that big win. Unfortunately, we have a game that went on that did not end in a glamorous way. And the Seattle Seahawks, freaking Sam Darnold, that dude is atrocious. Matter of fact, he played again last night, and they were in a close game. They got it done in the last second against the Cardinals. I don't know what kind of, I guess they're stepping up in their own division, but 44-13, J-Train. I mean, at least you guys got on the board. I will say that. The offense and the defense together were just way too much over the Saints, and I think this is your third loss. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I kind of expected us to lose all three of these games. It was just it's a tough. We're probably going to be 0-4 when we play Buffalo. Going to Buffalo.
Y'all do got Buffalo. Lord have mercy.
So this game here, though, the other two losses were more competitive. They had opportunities. We can easily be 2-1 with this right now. We were very competitive those games, but this game, they just in all facets just luck went their way. I mean, because special teams. How often do you have a special teams kickoff return and back-to-back a punt block? That changed the whole momentum of the game. I mean, in the beginning, the first quarter, they were up 21-0. I think it might have been 28-0 in the first quarter. So it was just it was a hole that they dug themselves into that you couldn't even come out of. And I think the biggest thing that they really need to clean up is a couple of games, including this game, is that they had a lot of penalties. I think it was like 11 for like 100 and some odd yards. I mean, it's just unreal, the penalties. And they got to be a little bit more disciplined in these games. And we're getting all our starters back for the offensive line now.
That's good.
So that may, we'll see. They're going to Buffalo again.
He is it's in Buffalo too?
Yep.
Who knows?
Flying all the way from Seattle from Pacific to Atlantic.
Oh man, they've been flying all week. They like Rudolph and the Red-Nosed. They like the Santa's helpers and the reindeer. They've been in the air all week.
Nah, they've been naughty, so Santa ain't giving them no gifts. So except BTAs, they've been getting BTAs. All.
Speaking of BTAs, I think I had to ask y'all what that meant in the group, because Kevin actually used that acronym this week, and this leads me to the last game roundup, and it's right at the halfway point of the show. It's perfect. The Atlanta Falcons 0, the Carolina Panthers 30. Yeah, get the applause button ready, B. Get it ready. Now.
Well, I know you have.
So the Panthers, since B's gonna be a hater, I don't know why. I'm asking for the applause button because that was big for the Panthers. That's been a delayed gratification. Anyway, the Panthers is a dominating performance. Let me just say, as a Panthers fan, I am so glad for a nice, quiet, peaceful week of all the haters and the naysayers about our defense, about the offense, about Sir Purr, about everything at Bank of America Stadium. I want to say it's nothing like, and I live in Atlanta for all of you who don't know, but y'all mostly know, it's nothing like a peaceful week riding around with my personalized plate that spells out Panthers on the back, where everyone that gets behind me knows I'm in front. So they dominated, and then I'm going to let Kevin speak. We dominated in all three phases of the game. Strong defense, and you know what? I don't remember who the announcers were of that game, Suck it announcers. They came on to the game at the beginning, basically already saying, yeah, that defense has been struggling. This game is probably going to go nowhere fast. Oh, okay. We showed you. 30-0, all 3 spots. Strong defense, included a pick 6 led by Mr. Bryce Young on the offense, and multiple field goals from our new kicker, Ryan Fitzgerald. Shaw Smith's Wade interception, one of the defensive interceptions we scored on in the third quarter, and a touchdown run by Rico Dowdle, and a touchdown by Mr. Bryce Young himself, led to the Atlanta Falcons sitting MPJ down. Sat down and brought back in Mr. Moneybags, Kirk Cousins, who had to go put a uniform on in the locker room because he didn't even dress out. They told him, go back there, hurry up, put your shirt and clothes on and get out here and get ready to suit up. He warmed up. He practiced all summer. He been out there playing ball with his kids. So he came out there, had to tuck his chain in because y'all know he always wearing that big chain. And he out there and Falcon fans is angry. Okay, I've been trolling with some of these parodies, and they are angry. And also, Kevin, I want to ask you your opinion on this. They are angry not only for the loss, but they're also angry because Raheem Morris was seen on video dapping up some of the players from the Panthers team and from the Panthers coaching teams. And Matt Ryan, your beloved quarterback who got you guys to the Super Bowl and lost, also had to talk about it because fans were like, how dare he be that nice to them? It's okay to, greet them and whatever. But he was dapping up and like he almost wanted to apply for a job with us. So I've said my piece for 3 minutes. It's all yours.
Kello was like,
but you know what? I'm gonna let you have your day, because if we had won, I wouldn't have said nothing because we were expected to win. Y'all weren't expected to win. So I see where you're getting all this excitement.
I don't know about not expected to win. We weren't expected to blow y'all out. But we had a chance to beat y'all. You're the Falcons, for God's sake.
I see where you're getting all this excitement from. Mm-hmm. I mean, I see where it's coming from. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of, it's been some dark days in Carolina over the last year. So I get it.
But we beat y'all at least once a year. So what's the dark days?
And y'all do, but it's still like, like I said, are y'all gonna win next week?
Yes. No. We're playing the
Let's be honest.
Just make sure you're available to come back on the show.
Kevo, you're not making it no better, dude.
But we all know
he'd rather bash my team than just acknowledge their own faults.
There's a high possibility y'all probably not gonna win next week. But y'all won this week. Y'all won this past week.
Let's talk about the Falcons. What's the problem with the Falcons?
It's the Panthers. We talking about the Panthers. We talking about
no, we're not. I talk about my team. You talk about yours. Now you've done this in the chat all week. You've done this in the chat all week.
Yeah,
just acknowledge the Panthers were the better team.
Yeah,
and move on.
They were the better team. They were the better team.
Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Kelly.
I'm gonna give it to them. They was the better team. I'm not even gonna go in my little spiel. They were
actually, I do. But I want you to tell us what you think the problem was really for real. All jokes aside,
it was play. I mean, it was obvious play calling. I mean, you stop running the ball when you're down 10-0.
Right. That's all that.
Like, you gave Tyler Algier 1 carry.
You don't think it was the defense at all? You don't think the defense had them locked out like that?
I look at it like this: you had 0 sacks. 2 quarterback hits, 3 quarterback pressures.
Okay.
Like, that doesn't scream anything like, oh man, the defense dominated. We had 100 more total yards than y'all whole team did.
We're talking sports, Kelly. Thanks for joining. She said just join. No, it's okay. This is our sports show. We're talking NFL and then we'll be talking college. Thank you so much for joining us, Kelly.
So
go ahead, Kevin.
So that's just my whole thing with the Falcons. Like, when I say they beat themselves, it was like you were moving the football And then when you had those opportunities, you either quarterback misses the throw, they don't run the football. Like in the first quarter or first half or that first drive, you're 3rd and 1, you call timeout.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you go back over there, I guess there was a headset problem. You come back over and you get a delayed game. Like,
I
on
saw
a
that.
3rd and 1. Like that's
Yeah,
beating yourself. And at that
that's
point, it
true.
was 0-0. So that's what I'm saying. Like they didn't do any. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say Carolina dominated the football game. They
Oh, I
did. I
can't
mean,
wait.
I'm not gonna say that they did. I'm not gonna say that they didn't. I'm not gonna say that they did. I just say it was just one of those weird games where when I look at the Falcons, they didn't do anything to execute. They didn't execute anything, and that was on their part.
I should
More
have
so
prepared
than
clips
anything.
for this show tonight. I should have
Well,
prepared some
I
clips.
know one thing. You're focusing on the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we can kind of get away with excuses on the offense.
Okay, the defense.
But your defense still gave up 30 points. So
they gave up 23.
Well, 23, yeah, because of the pick six.
And then to top it off, you got to think about the
23.
short. You also got to look at the short fields that we gave. We gave Carolina a lot of short fields.
Sure did. Those kicks were horrible. I
Special
saw
teams
that.
was awful.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Bryce Young only threw for 120 yards.
Well, but the Panthers scored in every single quarter. Every single quarter, 7 first quarter, 3 second quarter, 10 third quarter. That's when the stadium really got hyped up, and y'all couldn't even hear no more. Michael Penix was doing this. I don't think I've ever heard Bank of America Stadium that loud, ever, in person or on TV. It was so loud in there, and it was not a packed stadium. That lets you know how they were really into the game. That the Michael Penix was holding his head; he couldn't even hear in an outside stadium. And once that happened and Kirk came in there, it just looked like they weren't even there anymore. It literally looked like for me, not as a Panthers fan, just for me looking, I'm like, are they even trying anymore? J-Train, this is our division with Kevin. I mean, you're a neutral party between Kevin and myself because you are our enemy, you're our competition. What are your thoughts on that game?
Very much so. Yes, I am your enemy. And your friend.
Yes.
And friend.
Your enemy if my enemy is your enemy.
That's
yes,
right, Pink fan. It was loud though.
But I just think that Kevin does have some good points, but at the same time, it's still 30-0.
Yeah, it's 30-0. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I agree. He has good points in some of the things he said. Sometimes you can lose the game and still look like you're not losing. But I think the biggest question mark is what's going to happen with the throws that were made by Michael Penix. Did he just have an off game? Or is that something that we're going to have as a sign of things to come? Because I'm not really sure about the Panthers defense just yet, because we got to see them repeat that. They got to be able to, repeat that effort that they had. And like you said, there weren't a lot of sacks. There was some pressures, but I think Michael Penix put you guys into some bad positions. He put, by some missed throws, and maybe the offensive line wasn't all that great either. And stop and not running the ball too, like you said, your bread and butter is right now is through through Bijan Robinson, and that's how I was
him doubled, boy. They had Bijan layered.
Let me add 2 things. When we're running the pistol, you starting Bijan 7 yards off the ball. For what? Like, that makes no sense. You need to start him off 3 yards.
Yeah, they do.
And then if you go back and look at the pick six, go back and look at that pick six. There was no pressure. He just threw the ball late. He threw the ball late. That was one of them balls
because they were shook. And you know what? This is my point to insert this. The Falcons, the Falcons were so mad. The Falcons were so mad they came back and fired their wide receiver coach. And he ain't got nothing to do with this loss. But let me tell y'all your critical mistake. If y'all had at least kept Younghoe Koo one more week, congratulations to him for securing a job with New York now. Y'all would at least have probably 9 points on the board. You were
Yeah,
routed
but
because those missed field goals too. Y'all got a kicker in there that missed everything. He couldn't kick a can down the road. That boy is bad.
yeah, cool is missing kicks too, though. I mean,
Yeah,
so
but not like this. Cool.
yeah.
Y'all should have kept the sesame
J
chicken and
Train,
rice
you
in the
remember?
locker room for
Hold
him,
on, J
and he
Train, you
would have
remember
been
last
good.
year in New Orleans?
What?
J Train, you remember
They
last
beat
year
us
in
at
New
the end of the
Orleans?
game, yeah, with a 50-something yard kick. Yeah.
That boy missed 3 field goals in New Orleans,
Oh.
and he missed a 40-yarder. So yeah, it's been dating back since last year.
Oh, so
So
I
they've
still
been
wouldn't have
ready.
got rid of him for that
yeah,
dude.
Yeah, he probably knew.
It made you guys look kind of foolish doing that. It did.
Yeah.
hey,
You
we
know,
looking for a
typical
kicker,
Atlanta thing.
and we still looking for a kicker. I mean, you know,
I know
we still
you
looking
I
for
see
him.
a list. A list went out of people trying out. Y'all should have tried to get Eddie Pinero from the Panthers because he's solid, but you didn't.
Yeah,
All right,
To be fair, kickers are hard to find at this juncture of
Mm.
for
yeah.
any team.
now, yeah.
Youngway, I think where did he sign?
New
Signed with
Was
the
it
York.
New
New York
York?
Giants.
The Giants.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
he on their practice squad. So
Oh, he's on their practice squad.
yeah.
What?
So
Yeah, they got a kicker. They still have a kicker.
yeah, they got
Oh,
Graham
that's
Gano.
former Panther again.
He just
Okay,
got
I
hurt.
see you,
He got
Gano.
hurt though.
Yeah, Graham is that ace boon coon though. All right, so let's run. Well, Kevin, you guys got the Commanders on Sunday. I don't see nothing happening to y'all but another domination. I wish I had realized in advance, and I still may be able to secure a ticket. I may go out there with some burgundy on just to root for the Commanders. Because I got a couple of people that got a little plug with the Panthers team now. One of my little class.
You need a root for your
One of my
Panthers.
classmates, one of my classmates, shout out to you, Malia. One of my classmates works for the Falcons, and so I may have a little plug. But it depends on how much homework I get done this weekend. But yeah. Anywho, go Commanders and get ready for your second loss in a row. Right now, the Panthers are sitting at number 2 in the South. Feel free to Google and fact check me.
Yeah,
I've already
week
screenshotted.
4 at week 4.
It doesn't matter. We're gonna stay there. You hear me? You hear me? We're gonna stay there. Moving on. Okay, next week's scores, and then we got to talk about some brief college real quick. Got some Kevin, you got me all discombobulated. Sunday's games, September the 28th, are right around the corner. We got the Vikings versus the Steelers in Ireland. That's a morning game, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the league's international series, kicks off with a game in Croke Park. And then I told you guys the 1 o'clock games commence as follows. Commanders at Atlanta, the Saints at Buffalo, the Browns at the Lions B. That's going to be interesting considering the Browns just did some stuff with the Packers. I know you're not concerned, but they may try to do something, a little rat-a-tat-tat. Titans and Texans, Panthers at Patriots, Chargers at Giants, Eagles at Tampa Bay. Those are the 1 o'clock games. 4:05 games. Colts at Rams, Jaguars at 49ers, Kansas City versus Baltimore. This is in Kansas City at 4:25. This is a potential AFC Championship preview, which I don't know with the way the Chiefs are playing, but it's only week 4. And Chicago Bears are going to the Raiders at 4:25. Green Bay taking on Dallas. Micah Parsons returns to his former home, minus CD Lamb, who is battling an injury, guys. That game is the Sunday night platform game. This is a historic NFL rivalry that has a prime time slot. Let's talk about it for just a couple of seconds before I give you the Monday games, and then I'm going to run through the college games. What do you guys thoughts on this game? Who's going to win and why? Kevin, I'll start with you since you haven't been here in like 2 years.
I think Green Bay gonna rout them. I mean, defense. I think Green Bay defense is just gonna, Micah Parsons. It may not be Micah Parsons that's gonna get home, but them other guys is gonna eat, and then they gonna run the football. I mean, that's why I feel like it. I mean, that's just how it's gonna happen. And then the Dallas's pass defense is just awful. I mean,
Horrible.
They can't cover nobody. I mean,
they couldn't cover a bed with a blanket.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't expect nothing. Like, I don't expect Dallas to be. They might be in the game, but I don't expect it to be that close of a game.
What do you think, B?
How do you see? I don't care.
I see.
Don't.
I do. But well, so not necessarily about caring, because there's several teams I don't care about, but I'll just be like, this is my opinion on probably how they'll play, or I'll be like, I don't even watch them. But everybody's going to be watching this game. It's a Sunday night primetime game. And so everybody's going to be watching, especially for no other reason, to see Micah Parsons come at home. So I know the Packers are like pretty much full of it, basically. But 8:20 p.m. Still no thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any fantasy players on either one of the teams, so yeah, it probably won't be that interesting. I'm surprised you're just going to this game. You got 2-3-0 juggernauts playing each other. Philadelphia at Tampa Bay.
I'm not done.
That's the game of the day.
I know I'm not done yet. I didn't get there. I have to go in order of my notes.
This is.
He don't want to talk about the.
I know.
the
Jay
Packers.
Train.
Talk about the Packers or Dallas. I don't like either one of those teams, but anyway.
Oh my goodness. You got a job, man.
You got a job.
So,
Packers.
I'm gonna say the Packers. This is a I mean, Sunday night game. This is a great game because he's going back. He's returning home to the circus. He's going back to the big jumbotron circus, and he's going back to Jerry Jones.
Mm-hmm.
You know the camera's gonna be every time Micah gets on the field. The camera's gonna go up to their box, and you're gonna find Jerry every time because they want to see how he's looking, and seeing what Micah Parsons. I think Micah Parsons he's gonna pack up these boys offensively like old furniture in a moving truck. He's gonna put them in and just dump them in the river. I think I think his defense gonna back him up. I think they're gonna go there and just light this team up. And I think Green Bay's gonna come with a big win. Like Kevin said, it's gonna be. What did he say?
He said he hates to see NFC
he hate watching NFC East teams play for him.
We all NFC.
Yeah, but they won the Super Bowl, Yenza.
Right.
Just to put something out there, I think Green Bay, Micah doesn't have to do anything. You know what? All he has to do is have presence there. What's making this defense good? Let me tell you something. You know who leads the league in sacks right now? Rashawn Gary. You know why? Because Micah Parsons is on that team. That's why. And when you get a player to play that well, that's why Green Bay's defense ain't half bad, because they got everybody playing. That whole defense is coming to the ball. So with that, being said, and you got
Gary's not a slouch though. He had 8.5 last year. He's no slouch. So they're going to be really good. I think
he fades out. Gary fades out in games. He has games where he'll have 3 sacks and you don't see his ass for another 3 weeks. So that's what. But he's doing this on a consistent basis, like every game. Like he had, I think he had a sack against the Lions. He had 2 against Cleveland, and I think the game after the Lions, he had a sack and a half. So he's been consistent. That's what they want to see from Rasheed Gary is consistency. Not get 4 sacks and I'll see you in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then I'll play again.
That's a former Michigan guy, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so after that game, of course, and I think that Green Bay is going to get it done just because of how I've seen Dallas play as of late. It's just not impressive at all. And let's be clear, when Russell Wilson and them beat them, that was Russell's only high note for this. They didn't beat him. He looked good against them in the play, but that was his only high that we've seen before he was benched. The Monday night game, this is going to be a yawn fest for real. The Jets versus the Dolphins. Doubleheader. Thank God they got another game on at the same time. But then again, I don't even know if this other one is better. 8:15, the Bengals at the Broncos. Yeah. Just a wrap. So we're gonna go back real quick. Let's go around and pick who between our teams. I honestly do think that the Panthers can win against the Patriots. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout game. It's probably gonna be super close. Probably comes down to a field goal. Whichever team wins, it'll come down to a field goal. J-Train, your team against Buffalo, I know you talked about them a little bit. Is there any chance, a gnat's chance in hell, I don't know, that they will, make it?
Any given Sunday?
No. You ever seen those, what do they call those things when in Spain when all the bulls are set free and everybody's jumping around to get out the way?
running of the Bulls.
Yeah, that's kind of what Buffalo's going to do to us probably when we get there. We have to jump in.
Real bull now.
It's going to be running of the Bills.
Yeah, running of the Bills for sure.
Kevin, Commanders versus so you can't even get it out. Commanders and Falcons.
Well, it depends on what Falcon team shows up, man. Like, are we gonna get that Minnesota? Are we gonna get that team against that team, or are we gonna get that team that showed up on Sunday?
Dan Quinn and Marcus Mariota are coming into your trap, their former trap.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know.
Are you gonna be there at the game?
No, I ain't going this Sunday.
Okay.
They actually on probation until
I figured that. I was about to say you probably ain't even want to see no emails from them.
All right, got them on probation.
Yeah, they on probation at this point.
B, you got a big game coming up here on Sunday. What are your thoughts about you guys' game? I mean, gonna be spectacular. I'm expecting the Lions and Browns. You guys, I don't know. Y'all probably blow them out. You think?
Yeah. See, and this is like Green Bay fans, mostly fans in general about Cleveland because they pulled that win off on Green Bay. Green Bay really choked that game away. If you looked at it, 4 minutes they scored 10 points.
Yeah,
block kick, an interception that was ill-advised to be thrown. That's Jordan Love for you, though. And they gave the game away in that much time. So I put it to you this way: Cleveland is a good defensive team. There ain't no doubt about it. They're number one in the league for defense. But I'm going to compare this game to the game that was before this one, and that was the Ravens versus Cleveland. Now, Cleveland played good defense in that one, but the Ravens blew them out in that game too. Mm-hmm. So that's and I think that the offense for the Lions is a little bit better than the offense for the Ravens. So I do see like a double-digit win. I'm not saying that Cleveland won't play great defense. They're going to probably do pretty good against our run. They probably will have a couple of sacks on Goff because Garrett is a monster. You can't stop him. I don't care what left tackle, right tackle you have. He's a beast. So, I don't see, a clean game from the Lions, but I do see them beating them by at least double digits because if Baltimore can do it in their house, and they did it in their house too, I think the Lions can do it too.
So true. Let's wrap up with some college football games. There was a massive upset this past week as Syracuse defeated the heavily favored Tigers, dropping Clemson down to 1-3. You guys, worst start in over a decade for that team. Texas Tech 34-10 over Utah. Indiana and Illinois, that game 63-10. I mean, the Hoosiers delivered one of the most shocking results of the season, routing the Illinois in a decisive Big Ten statement win. B, I know you had eyes on that game.
I've been telling people about Indiana. Don't be sleeping on Indiana. Indiana's going to drop some bombs.
Oklahoma beats Auburn 24-17. This was their first SEC game of the season to win. Notre Dame 56-30 over Purdue. Michigan, your boys, 30-27, a close game. Wolverines survived a near upset on the road. That game was almost an upset, holding on for a narrow victory over the Cornhuskers. So, of course, now we're going into the next week. Starting tonight, guys, number 8, Florida State is at Virginia. That game should be going on now. TCU is at Arizona State as well. Houston is at the Ducks, Oregon State tonight. Now, tomorrow.
Can I give a quick update on that Georgia-Virginia game? Virginia is beating Florida, number 8 Florida, 35-28 with 6:49 left in the fourth quarter.
They've been struggling. They have been struggling.
Florida State, but let's let them know Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State. Yeah, Florida State.
Yeah,
not Florida. Florida's number 8 from the bottom.
Yeah, from the bottom. and got some games coming up tomorrow. Notre Dame will be playing Arkansas. The Irish is going to be traveling to Fayetteville. I'm about to say North Carolina. They got a Fayetteville, North Carolina too. Fayetteville, Arkansas tomorrow for a key conference test against the Razorbacks. That's going to be a good game. USC at Illinois tomorrow, number 21 versus number 23. The Trojans are going to Champaign basically to take on Illinois, B, who talked about it. And then number 1, Ohio State at Washington. Now, see, this is what you got to be careful for. I've seen Washington play in person before at the Chick-fil-A game years ago. That team can really play when they play. Now, it's new players, of course, but you have to be on upset alert. You have to be
No, not this game.
BTA.
UW is not UW. Not what they was. Not when Michael Penix was there. They're not that same
Okay.
UW.
Well, marquee
BTA.
cross country contest with the top ranked Buckeyes facing the Huskies in Seattle. And then your boys, J Train, number 4 LSU versus Ole Miss. Battle of the Bayou.
Oh yeah.
A pivotal SEC West rivalry game that will shake up the conference standings and the national rankings, depending on the winner of that game. Then you got number 11 Indiana at Iowa, Auburn, who's number 9 right now against Texas A&M, Utah State versus Vandy, Louisville at Pittsburgh, UCF at Kansas State, and number 16, glad that they're ranked, Georgia Tech at Wake Forest, and Rutgers at Minnesota. Big games coming up.
Alabama, Georgia is all I care about.
I'm getting ready to get to that. So why don't you close us out with that, Kevin? The Alabama Georgia game. Go dogs, go dogs. Y'all actually will see me root for some Georgia teams. Go dogs. I should have worn my shirt. Kevin, take us out with your thoughts on that.
BTA.
BTA. BTA. You heard it.
Georgia.
You heard it here first.
Georgia heard all that nonsense. Them Alabama fans.
What's up, Jeffrey? We got a big win on Sunday. I know you were excited. Thanks for joining as always. All right, so everybody, with that, we're gonna make like the Easter Bunny and hop on off of here. Make sure you join Beastrilla J Train tomorrow morning with Jack Hirsch for the debate show, and Sunday morning is the big Sunday mornings professional show, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on this network. Kevin, thanks for joining us. J Train as always, and Beastrilla. This is Friday Night with the Fellas, and I'm your host, Sonja. Everybody have an amazing weekend, and go Panthers.